Hey everyone, it's Tracy Malone. Um, Today I want to talk about estrangement. What a surprise! Estrangement is not just distance, it's grief, confusion, and love with nowhere to go. Estranged parents don't just feel sad, they feel that they've replayed everything, every conversation, every moment of their child's life, especially towards the end of being able to see them. They sit there and they try to figure this out. And parents question, was I a bad parent? Did I miss something? Because nothing makes sense anymore. You're grieving someone who is alive and there's no closure. There's just silence. But there's so many things that estranged parents feel, and I really wanted to cover this because when I work with people, one of the things that is usually part of the discussion is, especially when there's a couple, not that it doesn't happen with single parents too, but the amount of energy and amount of planning that goes into sending one text. You could rewrite it for 4 hours, 1,000 times. Both of you going, no, is that good? Is that going to be okay? Oh, are we too strong? Are we this? Are we needy? Are we guilting? Are we explaining? Are we, we'll just go around in circles and circles trying to understand. And that's what happens with everyone because it's mystifying what happened. In many situations in estrangement with a narcissistic in-law, there's certainly plenty of, if you were an abusive parent, then there's a different situation. But when it is a healthy, loving home and everything changes in an instant, you feel confused and disoriented. And again, that replaying, searching for answers, and then you get into this blindsided because of these accusations, because they're nothing that you remember. There's nothing in there that is true. And as you watch your child, you start to feel powerless. You watch them pull away and you don't know how to fix it. You've raised these children, they're adults, and you've watched them process and learn and listen to you. And now all of a sudden, you don't know how to fix it. And that's part of the pain is you were always able to fix their boo-boo. You were always able to warn them when the stove was hot. And now suddenly your advice is being used as a weapon. Um, and if you think about it, the grieving, the grieving that someone is still alive is an ambiguous loss that most of society will not understand. Your best friends might understand what you're going through, but it's still not classified as grief per se. It is classified as, oh, it'll be okay. They're just going through something. And, that kind of advice, while helpful, is also not helpful because you're grieving. You're in full on, my child is dead to me and I'm not getting a casserole. Um, you also go through things where parents are afraid to say anything. They know that if they say something and it's wrong, it's going to be used against them. So they're emotionally withholding what they want to say for fear. So look at all those emotions that they're going to be attacked, right? Um, the walking on eggshells, even if you're in silence. And some parents are completely in silence for years, for months, for days. But when you're walking on eggshells, what that does is it stops you from being able to say what it is because eggshells mean if I say this, I'm going to get in trouble. And so you are cautious. Um, but most narcissists, most estranged parents are understood by their friends, their family, and even therapists who don't understand what is going on. Again, you feel betrayed and you feel judged. There's judged that you are somehow the problem, and then you become isolated and heartbroken and longing for just a call or a text or a sign of connection. And then there's that repeating, was I a bad parent? Now, let me just say something. I've worked with a lot of people who have narcissistic parents. I had one. They can't take accountability. They can't say, was I a bad parent? They will always say, I did everything right. I made no mistakes. But when you are not a narcissist, you have that self-reflection, but it's also self-blame. Was I a bad parent? Instead of having the confidence to say, I was a great parent and we had a great, healthy relationship until this person came along. And that's the conundrum here, is it's until that person came along, right? Parents also feel guilt. You know, they don't even necessarily understand why, but carrying guilt is something that I can often help people with, because guilt is I did something bad and shame is I am bad. And if you are holding guilt, what did you do bad? Did you make a mistake? Sure, everyone makes a mistake. None of them have ever been worthy of this punishment. Did you punish your child like this and cut them off because they came home late after a party? No, right? This is unwarranted punishment for a mistake. But when they sit there and hold the was I a bad parent kind of narrative in their head, they are hurting themselves. They are doubting what they actually know is true. And that's not fair. Um, the state of waiting, constant waiting, never being able to plan, believe, hope. It's getting torn between letting go and never wanting to give up. You're sitting there and your identity as a parent has been shattered, right? Estrangement isn't just distance. It's grief, confusion, love, and nowhere to go. So, what I want to suggest to you, first of all, you could come to me and we could help you get through this pain and self-blaming and all of the other things that happen. But you can also get my new journal. This is a journal that I have just released on Amazon right now, and it is called Navigating the Silence of Estrangement, a journal for parents to process the pain. And I know hiring a coach is expensive and it's hard for parents to do that. So I've created 60 pages of questions, thought-provoking things I would ask you during a session to think about, to process, and then 300 pages of blank paper for you to do the work if you can't afford a coach and someone to get you there. Of course, where's my book? Estranged by Lies. If you haven't read this, this is also 300 pages, but it's going to give you so much validation. It's going to give you hope and some tools that you can use to not make another mistake. I think that's what we have to look at is we can't go backwards. We can't change yesterday. What we can change is today. And by changing today, hopefully impact tomorrow. And even if it's not to have your child back in your life on that day, it's coping with all of those emotions while you wait. All right, this is Tracy Malone. Remember, my website has 800 blogs, and I'd say probably 250 of them are on estrangement. Understanding what you're going through demystifies the crazy, takes off some of that self-blame when you go, oh my God, that's what this is? It's a thing? It really is. Not that we want it to be a thing, but if you're in this position, there are resources. Go to my website, narcissistabusesupport.com. The link is down below. You could look at coaching. You could look at my groups. I just started one, but I'll be starting another one soon. They're only 6 weeks long, and the teachings and the power of the lessons of regulating your emotions starts to set you on the right path. And I'm here for you. Again, this is Tracy Malone. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.